I just something just hit me. Like like what was his name? Socrates, Euclides, Platos. One of them. It probably not even. It's probably not even one of them. But they how they was in the bath and they ran outside yelling Eureka. That's kind of what I had. I kind of just had a Eureka moment while I was taking a shower. Um, so I'm sitting here, I'm washing myself, and it kind of just all hits me at once. And so I'm gonna start it off with a little metaphor. Let's say you got this garden. You found some seeds, you started a garden, or you're someone, your grandmother passes and she, you inherit her garden or something. And you're like, yo, it would be awesome if I started a channel or like an Instagram page or something, right? And let me document this growth, this garden growth. Now, there's two scenarios here. Actually, you know what? Fuck the metaphor. We're a minute into the video. My shit's been getting age restricted like a motherfucker. So I was like, yo, let me let this shit play out. Let me see. Let me just let me keep it calm for the first minute. And so, right, that basically was a metaphor for penises. Um, and I'm not gonna linger too long on this one. Um, originally it was gonna be about, oh, are you starting this? Are you starting this garden page to observe and appreciate the growth of your garden, or are you doing it, to show off, right? And so I was in the shower, had my eureka moment. Dick and balls is just fucking flailing up, just fucking flailing, bro. I'm sitting here like, oh my god, eureka, eureka, holy shit. I just had this amazing fucking uh, brain blast, and I wasn't even cleaning my dick and balls when this happened. It kind of just, I don't know what the chronology was, what made me think about it. Maybe I had just finished cleaning but I was cleaning my legs. I know this really isn't super relevant, but I'm just trying to put you in the mind space somewhere or other. Just know my dick and balls was out. Um, because I was in the shower, right? I just want to reiterate, I wasn't just walking around my dick and balls. I was in the shower. Um, and so I really started to think about it, and for all a good chunk of my life, like a decade or so or more. Um, you know, I've been hold on, my fucking throat is. I've dedicated a good chunk of my life to um figuring out ways to grow or change your meat to your desire. And as I'm sitting here and I'm cleaning myself, my dick and balls was that's all part of the process, right? So maybe I was sitting here cleaning my legs and I was like, yo, I really just cleaned my dick and balls. That's awesome. I'm so blessed to even have a dick and balls. I think somewhere along the line, everything just in a millisecond, it just fucking hit me. I was like, man, I like my penis. Now I'm gonna leave it right there. Cliffhanger. I'm not gonna tell you why because I want to get into the pros and cons, right? An age old debate, growing versus showing. You know, and with the rise of porn, we are in the most technological state that we could ever be. I mean, the present is the most just in this age. There's just so much technology. I mean, shit, we're even being governed by that shit with them fucking flock cameras. Shout out fucking AI, man. They probably know more about me than I do. Um, but yeah, low key, that DDR5 in there kind of. Nah, you know what? Nah, we're not even gonna get into that, bruh. We're not even gonna get into that. Cause shit, that DDR5 do sound tempting, bro, and they are very, very, very clearly trampling on our fucking, on our privacy and shit. But I'm not a criminal. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Or am I? I'm not gonna do it. Um, but yeah, man. Technology. We have access to the internet, and it's way easier to access porn. I mean, they've obviously taken measures into that. Shit, man, I was on vacation, and obviously I'm trying to crank my fucking hog. That shit says make an account so your ID's safe. They got you fucking showing off your fucking ID, bro. Yeah, now your ID's tied to petite Latina taking, you know, fucks her tutor or some bullshit like that. Whatever the fuck you're into, that's tied to your fucking ID now. So I didn't do it. I just suffered. I said fuck it. But yeah, it's way, coming back to the original point, it's way easier to access porn. Everyone's getting a fucking phone. I didn't get a phone until I was 15. But, the people that I talked to, like, yeah, I don't know how it comes in. I don't know. How the fuck do you bring up, your first time you fucking busted or whatever, right? But, everyone else was like, oh, I was on my computer. I was on my phone. I was on this. I was on that. Yeah, I didn't really. There was a lot of restrictions. I didn't start. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not even, that's a story for another time. But, right, it's so easy to sit down and pull down your pants and start watching some fucking BBC fucking demolishing, right? It's so easy, and you see all these, BWC, BBC, you know, right? And that's like the main draw, right? BBC, BWC, all in they abbreviate it so it's in these beautiful big letters to let you know, like, oh my god, like this is the highlight of the fucking show, this fucking big cock. And so that obviously, that the industry glorifies fucking humongous, phallus, right? And as children, I wasn't that young when I found when I started cranking my shit, but I've seen people who were like 12, 15. Oh, 15. 15 is about normal. I don't know. You should be 18 plus. But yeah, I've seen people who are like in their tweens. So I read a TikTok comment. Some guy was like, "Yep, me at 8." I'm like, bro, what were your parents doing? But right, it's not my place to judge, and I just know there are young, impressionable people out there that they come across this shit, and it's just big ass fucking floppy cock, and the industry glorifies that shit, and yeah, that shit fucks with your mental. But I think there are pros and cons, right, to having a fucking 12-inch show at all time, right, having your shit on full mass 24/7. I think that there's a benefit to that, and I think there's a benefit to having a grower. Now, granted, spoiler, I think that there are more benefits to having a grower than a shower, but that's why we'll start with the shower. I think showers are great because showers. I mean, they're showers. It's an accessory, right? I mean, you can use it to assert dominance. Your shit is always on. However big your shit is, 7, 8, 9. However many inches, that shit's on display at all times, and you can use that to display power. Going to a job interview, make sure you wear those gray slacks that really show your print. You walk up, you give the interviewer a nice firm handshake. He looks down, he sees that fucking hog, and your aura overpowers him, and you get that opportunity that you came to get interviewed for, right? Going to the nude beach. If you're really confident about your shit, you walk in, you swinging that shit, and you might become the king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? Now, make sure you're around adults if you're trying to flaunt your shit. It's weird. I mean, it's weird in general to really flaunt your shit. In general, personally, right? But I'm sure that there's someone out there who got that fucking job because they're fucking you know the hiring manager just looked down and they were like, wow, we need that guy. We need that guy and his fucking hog on our fucking team. But that's a 1 in a million. But I mean, it's an option. I mean, it's nice. It's showy. I mean, you could get into porn if you want. You can get into OnlyFans. There's and those pay a lot. Like shit. If I could just get up and get it up, you know what I'm saying, and just go on camera and just start wiggling my shit, fucking touching my shit. Um, I mean, for most men, there's really not like who the fuck is seriously subscribing to Little Meat Tim, right? Like, how many women are sitting here fucking drooling at the thought of just like subscribing, $9.99 a fucking month to watch some little guy flick his fucking his meat, right? So I mean, shit. If you could show that shit, and your shit's always on full mass, I see a bunch of guys who just dance around naked on Twitter. That shit. I mean, you got options that pay pretty well. I mean, and of course, um, the main issue. I think the first thing that kind of clicked in my head was our shit stops really getting hard, or super hard, or it stops getting that firmness as you get older and you start needing that pill. I mean, if you don't plan on using it, at least you have it there at full capacity, full 100% power, right? You got that shit looking fresh to death at all times. So if you're old and you just want to say fuck it, go to a nude beach and flaunt that shit. Cause I sure as hell can't. My shit on fucking one. My shit on 1 inch, bro, and whew, nah, I'm wildin', bro. But like, you know, I guess it's a nice little accessory. Now, an inappropriate fucking accessory, but you can use it in certain industries that pay well. And if that's what you want to do, I mean, you blessed. You physically blessed. Now, growing, I feel far outclasses showers. Now, because I think about this a lot. It's so easy to just put on anything and not have to worry about my shit showing. Because it's like a nice moderate size at all times. It's not so small that it's like embarrassing, but it's not big enough where my print's showing when I wear sweatpants. But when it's time for action, we get up. We get about it, bro. We get up, and we don't fuck around at that point. But I think it's real nice. It's nice and compact. You don't in life. You don't ever want nothing that's too big, right? Like when you go into the beach, you don't bring a bunch of fucking kitchen chairs. You fold up them chairs, and it's nice and it's pretty. And when it's time, they fold out and you can sit on them. That's the beauty of compact, right? Smart cars. It's so easy to parallel park. It's so easy to find parking with a motherfucking, smart car. And how does that relate to It's so easy to just park your shit in any pants, any underwear, really. But that underwear is another topic I actually wanted to get into because I found some shit out that I'll save that. I don't want to spoil, but that nice compact is big when you need it, small when you don't. That's the perfect. I feel that is the perfect penis functionality, right? I mean, what else? Um, I mean, look at a fucking clarinet, right? You or the only ones that I really knew. I don't know if there's any clarinets that are just fully assembled, but you take that shit apart and you put it in its case. You know what I'm saying? And then it fits in this case that's much shorter than an actual clarinet because you put it into this little in these pieces, and then you put it out linearly, and it's long. That's compact is the best, I say. So if your shit's a little on the smaller side when it's soft, or even if it's just like normal size, just look down at it and just thank your little guy, like, oh, thank you for being quiet when I need you to be quiet. Because unless it's your person, like, nobody wants to be loud 24/7. Nobody wants to be fucking 38 inches every time, and I feel like that'd just be a pain to just walk around with, sleep with. Just having it shut up when you don't need it to talk. is the best. And I think, my second point is that it's just a nice little surprise for you, for your woman, to see this little guy just become a big dog. You know, I believe some of the best things in life come as a surprise. I mean, look at Christmas. You see all these unassuming boxes on, they'll label, but they're covered, and you don't know what's in them. It could be, you know, your expectations. You don't have any expectations, right? You could see this box that looks like it's fucking clothes, and then you come out with a goddamn, the Hot Wheels set that you've been wanting, that you've been asking for, the fucking Legos that you've been begging for the past fucking year, right? And I think, seeing this unassuming piece of sausage, this little Vienna sausage turn into a fucking chorizo, right? It's a beautiful, because sometimes I be admiring my shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll tell you straight up. Like sometimes when I watch it, I'm like, wow, watching nature do its shit and grow, so much. I'm a little proud and impressed, and I have to sit there and be like, wow, that's really mine, and I love it, bro. I quote J. Cole like almost every day. Love yours. I look at my shit and I do love mine, and I'm like, wow, I'm so happy that you're my partner. Watching you grow whenever I need you, and it's a beautiful thing because then when I'm done, when we're done, that's my fucking partner. When we're done, it just shrinks right back up and it goes. It's portable. It's portable. Um, but yeah, look at proposals, right? Dude has this fuck ass box, right? And inside, right, it's not just a box. Inside is this beautiful ring that, is filled with promises, and it's just really fucking expensive, and it's, you know, I mean, shit, depending on the diamond, there was so much fucking work, unethical work that went into this diamond, or if it was a lab grown, it's got so much science and you know, engineering behind it. There's so much significance in this little fucking ring that was in this fucking little box. It's your birthday. Nobody calls you. Nobody texts you. You come home. You think it's empty. You think there's a little amount of people, and then you open that door and the lights is on, and there's a big population of people in your house, and it's just the surprise is beautiful because you're like, wow, nobody cares about me, and then everybody fucking cares about you, right? Surprises are the best thing in life. Um, but yeah, I don't know how long I talk. I don't know the ratio between me talking about showing and me talking about growing. But there's benefits to both, and I think it really depends on your personality. Um, if you're like, damn, bro, I can't go to this new beach because my shit's on two and it's soft, and I don't want to get fucking cockmogged. Um, and then obviously having a girl is not for you. But for me, I don't ever really plan on going to a nude beach. Um, and if I do, let's be honest, I might be a little chub the whole time, so I don't really have to worry about that. But you know, and on the other hand, personality. If you're sitting here, you were born, you're like, oh my god, this fucking 9 inch cock is always 9 inches, and it fucking pisses me off because why can't I get these fucking sweatpants on without my fucking print? Oh my god. I'm not jealous of either side. Because again, I love mine, but there's probably someone who's like, must be nice to have that fucking fat print, bro. Must be fucking nice. But this is just to say, love your shit. Love your shit. Again, I'm still working on a device where you can amputate and then detach it and attach different penises to your pelvis and all that shit. But the more that I research and the more that I think with my, the more that I'm in my own head, I start to think that you know there are pros and cons to your meat size, to all that shit. And I think I just wanted to bring it to attention. That cock that you got in your pants is a good one, no matter what. And let me just, if you got a micro penis, that's even fucking cooler. That's even fucking cooler. You're so fucking, like, if you're falling down a slide, you're so fucking aerodynamic. Like us with normal cocks, like we can't go down the slide with nearly as much fucking efficiency as you, big bro. Like, so if you're watching this with a micro and you're sad, like your micro is tough, bro. And you know what? It's even more portable. It's even more compact than a normal cock. And I think that's fucking awesome. Um, and sometimes I think, like damn, like maybe, I wish I had a micro cock. I envy people with micro cock. So if you're watching this with a micro cock, just know I'm on your fucking side. And I think your cock is pretty damn fucking cool. But yeah, no matter what cock you got, too small, too big, just right, it's yours. We need to learn to love it. And it took me, nearly 3 decades to come to terms with my shit. But I did, and I love my guy. This is my partner right here. And when I develop that fucking detacher cock, I'm not gonna use it because I love my guy right here. This is my partner, but it's gonna be there when you want it. Um, I love you and your cock. I hope y'all enjoy a nice long life together. But yeah, I'm out.